The night grows colder by the hour, and I'm still reminiscing about the first time I read the graphic novel, Blacksad. It's hard to believe that classic has turned 20 years old this month, and yet, it remains mysterious. Despite all of 5 current volumes, 2 additional ones on the way, and a video game, much is unknown about the exact year it takes place in. Blacksad for the uninformed individual is a graphic novel series that blends in hard noir with illustrations fit for a Disney-quality feature film. I reviewed it several years ago, and anyone is free to check those out. But for now, I'm gonna try to crack this case. It is known that the series takes place in America during the bygone era of the 1950s. The first 3 volumes, Somewhere Within the Shadows, Arctic Nation, and Red Soul are closely connected. Although the recent volumes are part of that timeline, they don't offer much to help this case. Somewhere Within the Shadows has to take place in the early fall since there are dead leaves blowing in the wind in New York City. Then it's wintertime, the second story of Arctic Nation, then Red Soul, it's summertime. While this does help a little, an exact year isn't given away in any of these stories. Then something came out last year that would help me reach closer to my goal. That was the video game Blacksad, Under the Skin. It takes place in between the first 2 stories, and after enduring through the iffy glitches of that game, I was able to see that the story takes place in October. Now an exact month was narrowed down, but a year was unknown. I then looked at Blacksad himself. He said he had fought in the Second World War and had attended college at one point briefly. So that would mean that Blacksad would have to be at least 18 in 1941 when the attack on Pearl Harbor happened. If this is the truth, then between 1950 and 1959, John Blacksad would have to be between the ages of 27 and 36. While this was amusing, I still wasn't close to figuring out the year, until an unlikely character was the puzzle piece that would help me crack this case. Her name was Brumhilde. Brumhilde is the daughter of Dr. Grun, who is a German scientist who spent his life trying to cure his daughter's condition. But when the Nazi Party found out about the doctor developing a drug that could be used to make super soldiers, he left with his daughter in the late 1930s. So the late 1930s being between 1937 and 1939, as well as Brumhilde being 15 during the story, in addition to her being old enough to walk and when the escape happens, I think Brumhilde had to be between 1 to 3 years old when this happens. But the one last piece in the puzzle that was easy to overlook would be from history itself. The Joe McCarthy character has hearings on communism in the 3rd story of Red Soul that takes place in the summer, and historically those hearings took place in 1954, meaning that Blacksad begins a story in the year 1953, Somewhere Within the Shadows taking place in September of 1953, then Under the Skin taking place in October of 1953, with Arctic Nation taking place in December of 1953, or in January or February of 1954, and then Red Soul being the summer of 1954. So there it is. Case closed.